finally it gets to the feet of Freeman. So we can calm down. No, Freeman wants to go, and he just gets completely taken out trying to go through 2 or 3 people. Well, a very on-brand window for this U.S. men's national team. They had one very poor performance and then a slightly better one that's more optimistic. It's either that or the inverse, where they play well in the first game and bad in the second. But look, in the end, it's a victory. And I think this team really, really needed that. Pochettino certainly did. And also the fan base, because you'd like to see games just sort of go in the direction of the team and see them grow a little bit in confidence as it goes on. So what we're going to do here is take a look at this game that the U.S. played against Japan. We're going to take a look at some of the good stretches of possession, some of the good pressing. Then we'll take a look also at some of the really bad stretches of possession that led to a ton of turnovers. And then we'll finish with some of the highlights from the second half. So welcome to Campfire Football. I'm Sebastian North. Let's break down USA versus Japan. All right, so there were some pretty good build-outs. There were some nice stretches of possession, and it was good to see because they were deploying this new formation, this 3-6-1, essentially, that Pochettino resorted to in the second half against Korea. Now, he did that mirroring their formation, and it seemed to work pretty well with the personnel. So one of the things you see here is Ream, Richards, and Blackman on the far side. That's your back 3. 2 pivot holding midfielders are Roldan and Adams. Now, one of the wingbacks was Max Arston, and this is the position, if anywhere, that I think does work for him. And if we play this formation, there's a spot for him on the bench because he does do this. He does try and take people on, which is a huge part of playing this position. You've got to be able to get the ball and look forward to be able to give a whole new range of options. Once you can get it to your attacking midfielders, like you did to Pulisic right here, you can find a way out the other side. Blackman steaming forward. I don't know why Pulisic goes out to Freeman right there, but he does well to chest the ball down and come inside. And so by going from one wing back out to the other, we've broken through all their lines, destabilized them, switched the play. Now, there were a bunch of other good things we saw. Like when we were pressed, we actually did a pretty decent job of keeping the ball moving and looking for another option out. Then it's when you create the space, how well do you use it? So Freese goes out to Ream right here. He does exactly what he should, which is play this ball into Arfston. Now, again, he has dropped deep enough that he's able to at least face forward when he gets a touch. Once he plays that ball inside, he continues to run. But what's good for the U.S. here is that 3 Japanese players are in this corridor, which means there is a ton of room in the center part of the field. So Ream cuts inside, is able to find a nice little split pass to Balogun. That's a very good layoff from him into the feet of Arfston. He plays it out to Adams, and we are out the other side again. Then you got Roldan playing a ball into Pulisic, and he just totally mishits it. Roldan cleans it up and gets it into Ream. So now the Japanese have started to press a little harder because there was a mistake. It's time to do it. But Ream does a good job of actually facing Arfston, making all the Japanese players think that's where the ball's going, gives himself time and space, and gives it to Richards. Now, Richards takes a look up, sees Blackman, but he plays a really nice reverse pass to Split. The only problem is this is a dangerous ball to play because if there is a mistake, which there almost is right here, you could risk giving up a goal easily. But Adams does well to recover, win it back, and now we can build out again. Plays it out wide. This time it's Roldan who has jumped into that space. He plays it into Pulisic. Nice turn, touch, gets fouled. It gets to Adams. He goes out the other side to Blackman. So those were some of the good stretches of possession. Here is some of the pressing. Now, Japan, for their part, were really bad on the ball. The amount of turnovers both teams had, to be fair, was really poor. But the U.S.'s pressing was good. In terms of the difference between this and what we saw against Korea, well, one, there was more energy in it. You can see everyone's at least chasing down the ball, trying to create as little time as possible for Japanese players to look up, be able to turn and find options. And also, Ream. Yeah, that's him right there. Your left center back flying into the midfield to try and stop the center forward who has checked in from turning. And that's really important. That sets a tone for the kind of energy you're going to bring. Arfston snaps in, gets a foot on the ball, and it leaks out into the middle where Balogun plays a nice little layoff, and Pulisic really should do better with his shot right there. But yeah, one of the biggest things is look at the line of confrontation, right? Balogun stops, and this is where the U.S. are like, okay, here's where we're going to start from. They can have the ball back there, but once they go any further or once they pick a side, that's when we decide to run. This actually brings Roldan and Adams higher into the picture, which is good. And then once again, balls into the center forward. Who's there? Ream chasing to make sure that he can't turn. Then there's just a poor ball. The U.S. win it, and Balogun gets there first. Lays it to Pulisic, who gives it back to him, and Balogun has his shot blocked. He gets another one. It bounces in the air. Zendejas with the header, but it's grapefruit right into the keeper's hands. But again, good pressing. And Japan, yeah, they were really rough on the ball. They were fine in these areas, but look at that for a pass. I mean, in the air, it's just a weird ball to play to your teammate. And here they almost actually got out. They played a nice little 1-2 combination there. And then can you switch it out to your forward? But that's just a poor touch. Poor technique, the U.S. rob it, and here actually is the lead up to the goal. So Balogun drives across, doesn't have anything, we recycle, Ream gets it to Arfsten. And Max Arfsten, I mean, if he's going to pull off stuff like this, that's very, very adequate to be part of the side. Again, I don't think he is a starter, but this was excellent. Beating the defender down the line, the cross is terrific. Zendejas, by the way, wow, very, very good finish. Excellent volley. And so that got us the lead and got us a little bit more perked up. So you can just see how much higher we are. At no point against Korea were we stepping up this high. Everyone was willing to take steps forward and just nip any chance we could to win the ball. And here Pulisic drives in, is able to get a shot off. It's blocked and goes over. But just destabilizing Japan was enough to create chances and get us the lead. The only problem is we had a lot of turnovers as well. I just showed you a bunch of Japan's. Here's some of the issues that I had with the U.S. in this first half specifically. First of all, that ball from Fries is behind Tim Ream, makes him turn around completely. And then he looks up and he doesn't really have an option out wide. There's no wing back on the touchline, which is a problem. That is the easy ball to play if Ream has somebody there. So he decides, I'm just going to go long, I'm going to get it out. And it's actually a pretty good pass into Balogun. It's like right on his feet. But his touch is poor. Japan recover the ball, and this is where they would create their first chance of the game. Then you got Richards kind of looking up, not really any ideas, so he decides to go long, and it's just a simple turnover. Then the middle's all plugged up. Christian Pulisic rolled on. They can't really do anything, so it ends up going back to Ream, who just sort of chips it into the middle looking for Pulisic. Weak ball, turnover. This one to me was probably the most egregious. We had a free kick like 15 yards into Japan's half. And we just went backwards and all the way back to our goalkeeper, which I think is just ridiculous when you have a free kick in the opponent's half. Then the ball goes to Richards and he decides, ooh, you know that pass that worked earlier where I gave him the eyes and slipped it into someone's feet? I'm going to try that again. Yeah, this time Japan read it, play the ball into the middle for a guy who's wide open, and this toe poke, I mean, it's awful. It's right at Fries. Should have been 1-1 and real egg on the face for the team because like I said, we had a free kick in their half. We could have just established possession there, but instead we went backwards 2 passes and ended up in this situation. Then you've got another instance of just center backs booting the ball away. There's nowhere to go, true, but do we really need to do this? Just kind of kick it to nobody? This is the kind of thing you were seeing a lot in that first half from both teams. So we got to halftime with a 1-0 lead, and I think it was merited. But the question is, would things improve a little bit? We didn't see too much quality from players, and I was waiting for that to happen in the second half. And I just want to show a couple little stretches of possession that I thought were good. This one, first of all, we go out to one wing back, out to Arfsten, really drag the entire Japanese team to one side. And then when we get out to the other, it's pretty decent, slick play. Now, one thing that would happen in this second half is there were a lot of weird moments of sloppiness that sort of worked. Right, like Balogun lays the ball off there. Everyone just runs by it and Freeman's able to get it. But I do like the combination on the side. That was nice. Freeman plays it into Zendejas. He quickly gets it out to Arfsten. And this is the theme that was important, is Pulisic's impact in the second half was huge. Here he gets the ball in the overlap, takes on the defender and shoots. Keeper gets the kick save. Here Arfsten has the ball, plays it forward to Balogun. He does a good job of shielding it off. But then Pulisic picks it up right here. And like there's not much. But this is what he's capable of doing, just running through a whole bunch of players, getting into a dangerous position. I think he should score here, but it is a decent save by the goalkeeper. And then the second goal. He's just standing in a little pocket, receives the ball, takes it by one defender, and he's off and running again. And he did this a lot in this second half. The run from Balogun's very good. He's very much onside, gets into a great position. The finish, very tidy, off the post and in. All right, I want to make a quick note on Christian Pulisic here because I think it's important for people to understand he is not really a system player in this team. He is the difference maker. He is the ringer, the wild card, the joker, the guy that's able to just create something essentially out of nothing. Now, not very many international teams have players like these, and we do. And so I just think people need to calm down about what Christian Pulisic's role should be in terms of position. His job should just be find a way to get it and beat some people and create something. And if he's floating around, he's going to have a lot more success than being in a particular spot in the system. That's just the way I view it. And I think this was a good performance by him, but mostly just because he just did his own thing every now and again and changed the rhythm and pace of the game. So I just wanted to put that out there. All right, let me show you the last couple clips here. And why did I include these? Well, first of all, it's a little combination of everything in this game. You've got the U.S. receiving a turnover from Japan right there, and then we just decide to dawdle on the ball here, and they win it back. Now, why do I include this? My goodness, this shot is an absolute rocket, and Freese was not moving at all. I'm not gonna lie, I would not have minded seeing that go in. It would have been such an epic banger. But the US also had our own moment where we hit the bar, and once again, all kinds of sloppy play beforehand. This is like little kid soccer. No one can keep the ball. Everyone's just kind of wriggling away at it, and finally it gets to the feet of Freeman. So we can calm down. No, Freeman wants to go, and he just gets completely taken out trying to go through 2 or 3 people. Somehow it just pops out to McGlynn, who presence of mind is great. Plays a nice little ball into Damian Downs. He plays it out wide to Dest. Now you've got guys making runs at the top of the box. It goes to Luna. He lets it go through his legs. And the technique by McGlynn here, I mean, bam! Absolutely terrific. Really deserved a goal himself right there. I think if it had finished 3-1 and both of those last 2 shots went in, that would have been a nice, more fun way to end the evening. But my assessment of this system and the way we played is we're going to need the best players in our pool to be able to pull this kind of thing off. The thing about this 3-4-1 formation is that you end up with a lot of players matched up 1v1. And if they lose their duels, you're probably going to lose the game. However, if you have good players on the field who can win more tackles and be able to go past people and do what Arston did, for instance, beat a defender and cross the ball into the box, that's going to be a difference maker at the international level. Tell me what you thought of this game. Let me know what you thought of the breakdown. Thank you, everyone, for stopping by. Really appreciate it. This is Campfire Football. I'm Sebastian North. Take it easy.